So you want to unlock your spiritual gifts. Great. First, you need to keep in mind and realize that you cannot care about what anyone has to think. People are going to try to call you insane. People who are dead set on not wanting to believe, they're going to try to make you out to seem crazy, but you cannot worry about that. Also, ignore my eyes clearly having some type of allergic reaction. Okay, so step one is you need to meditate. Be comfortable with being outside, being in nature, meditating. Meditate for at least 15, 30, 45 minutes. Starting out, it's going to be helpful for you. The wind is blowing, confirmation. You need to get in touch with your thoughts and your highest self. 2, you are going to need to do the shadow work. You are going to need to heal the parts of you that you have been avoiding, the parts of you that you have been neglecting, the things that you need to get over, them traumas. You need to be at your highest self in order to unlock your highest potential regarding this. 3, stay grounded and trust yourself. Make sure that you are trusting the messages that are coming to you and not doubting your intuition. It is very important for you at this time that you do not doubt your intuition. Trust the messages that are coming to you after you've done all of those things and you're healing, you've done the work. Those messages are messages that you need to hear, and that's the truth. Do not ever waver. Do not doubt yourself for anybody. Understand that it's a process, so do not expect everything to just happen overnight. Be gentle with yourself. Be understanding. It's a process. It's a muscle. Just like any muscle, you have to work on that muscle to strengthen it. It is a skill. It is a gift. And then also, I wrote an ebook that goes over tips, tools, identifying your spiritual gifts, how to unlock them, just helpful information for this journey, because let's be honest, it's not for the weak, and it is something where you're really going to have to get in touch with self. So having some type of guidance is always helpful. So that's why I made the guide to begin with. You can also click the link in my bio for that as well. Just realize you're not the only person that's going through it or who's had to go through it. Everything takes time. Everything is a learning aspect, and just know that you're on the right path and you're doing the right thing, and this will be very beneficial to you. There are more benefits than anything. I believe in you. I believe in your progress. I know that you're going to make it happen, and I know that you're going to get in touch in your higher self. So keep going.
These are 4 abilities you can unlock just by meditating. For number 1, you'll get a stronger intuition, and your ability to read energy will increase. Just by talking to somebody, you'll be able to feel their energy and tell if they're a good or a bad person. Life will also become a lot easier because your intuition will lead you down the right path. For number 2, you'll start to receive divine information. This is because when you meditate, you're connecting with God and your higher self. So whenever you get stuck, meditation is perfect to gain clarity and information. Meditating can also heal your sicknesses much faster. This allows you to focus your energy within your body on where the sickness is coming from. This is called energy healing. For number 4, you'll start to see visions of your future. And most of us already experience this during our dreams or deja vu. But if you use your imagination while you meditate, it will give you direct access to this power. And speaking from experience, you can actually see the life you want to live and exactly how to get there. And that's how meditation can be very powerful. This is the best step-by-step meditation guide that'll teach you everything. And it's also easy for beginners to understand. So go to the link in my bio and get yours.
I meditate every day, and you just allow these thoughts to come forward, and you get a chance to observe the self and things that may be lying beneath the surface that you'll never pay attention to. That's what meditation is for me.
Enjoy your meditation abilities, and y'all stay conscious.
So you know you're spiritual but want to further tap into it. This is what you need to unlock and improve your spiritual abilities. Everybody is born with spiritual gifts, but some are born more aware of them than others. And the more aware of your gifts you are, the more powerful they become. So I'm going to teach you a part of my hyper-awareness method that's going to help you tap into and strengthen your abilities. Right now, if you put all of your focus on what you hear, you'll start hearing sounds you didn't before. And if you focus on your nostrils, you'll start picking up a scent that you didn't before. And becoming aware of your gifts is the same thing. Now sit down with your eyes open, only looking at one thing that you see and putting your focus in the present moment. What do your 5 senses pick up? What feelings and sensations do you feel throughout your body? Are you starting to see glimpses of energy or orbs? Do you hear frequencies you didn't hear before? What do you feel around you? Do this for a good 10 to 15 minutes and you'll start seeing a humongous difference in what you perceive. Just on doing this hyper-awareness strategy that I teach on my spiritual gifts training that you can find on top of my page.
This is how you can awaken your supernatural powers and abilities. Now understand, 99.9% of people can't do it because they're not disciplined enough or mentally strong enough, right? So the first step in this process is you have to start training your mind. You do this through meditation, visualization, and ritual. These practices create new neural pathways in your brain and open you up to fourth dimensional astral energies. The more you meditate, the more psychic energy you accumulate. And the goal is to be able to change the visible world around you with your mind. So one practice that they taught me when I was initiated is to stare at a white wall or a white piece of paper, and using your mind and using your third eye, turn it black or turn it to any other color. 99.9% of people can't do it because their mind isn't mentally strong enough, so you have to train by practicing. This is what we're talking about when we say change your reality. Once you can do that, now you can start doing more advanced things like changing your internal body temperature. If you look online, you can find all of these videos of these monks that go up into the mountains in the wintertime with no clothes on, and based on meditation, they can actually start sweating and even melt the ice around them. These are the type of things that's possible when you learn how to conquer your mind.
Speak to the middle of your palm on Monday. Do it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Declare that whosoever you touch with your right hand palm will be healed. Declare that whichever exchange you engage into will be fruitful. Declare that whatsoever you do with your palms will prosper. When you do this every midnight, you will understand the reason why you have these lines in the middle of your palm, and you will understand how powerful it is when you speak to it. You are powerful. You are great. You are bigger than what you can ever imagine by speaking to the middle of your palm. Do this and it shall be well with you.
I'm going to show you how to turn on and off your spiritual gifts anytime you want. First, let's start with turning them on. This part is extremely misunderstood. Most people believe that we have to do something in order to turn on our abilities, that we have to complete some sort of complex spiritual practice. That's not the case. Your spiritual gifts and abilities are already fully on, they're already strengthened, they're already fully developed. You don't have to practice or do anything. You have to bring an awareness to them. This is what that means. There's nobody that walks around 24/7 completely open to all these other realms and dimensions, and they're seeing all these things that you can't see. It doesn't work like that. Our spiritual abilities are mostly always off. Even though they're there and active and fully developed, we're still not aware of them. Let me show you what I mean. I want you to focus on your heart right now. Maybe even put your hand on it, and I want you to just feel for your heartbeat. I want you to sit there and just feel every single heartbeat. Now, once you started to focus on your heartbeat, you could feel every single heartbeat, couldn't you? That's because you brought an awareness to it. Before I asked you to do it, you had no idea your heart was even beating. That's exactly how our spiritual abilities work, and what I mean by bringing an awareness to them. So if you want to turn them on, focus on them. If you want to turn them off, think about something else. It really is that simple. You can check out some of my other content for step-by-step instructions.
People that are gifted can't walk and live a normal life like the rest of the majority can. People that are gifted, it's like you always have to be conscious of everything. And people who don't necessarily see that gift in yours, they're not going to understand your troubles. Your troubles are different. They're laid out differently for you to only understand. And the only way someone else can understand what you're going through if you are around someone else who is gifted too. And when I say gifted, I mean people that have gifts, people that are psychic, people who are empath, people who are connected to nature, people who are herbalists, people who are gifted in the spiritual realm, I should say. The things that you go through on a daily, it's totally different. You cannot work your problems out like the way they can, because what's in store for you, it's totally different for you to see. And sometimes people like us fall into a deep depression, anxiety, or feel like no one can understand us because there only are a selective few of people that can. And the solutions out there for the regular normal person, it's not going to be a solution for you. It isn't. And you can either take their advice and continue to step further away from what you are tended to do in this realm, in this world, or you can stand on business and do things out the norm and not care what people are going to say or how they're going to judge you. It is what it is. And it takes you to realize who you are and what type of gifts you have for you to really live in your purpose and understand that you are not meant for everyone. You are not everyone's cup of tea. That's it. When you are gifted, you can't love the same. You can't hate the same. You can't travel to certain places the same. You can't wear certain colors the same. You can't use some type of words the same. You are different in every which way and form. And until you recognize that, and it takes a lot, it might take you a few times of meditation. It might take you a few years for you to really get it. You have to, I can't explain it. I can't. Even me trying to do this video and explain it, I can't explain it because the majority will not get it. But the people that do get it will understand what I'm saying.
Here are 5 ways to easily develop your spiritual gifts and abilities. 5 is reading. Read everything. The signs on the buildings, the signs on the walls, read books, read articles, read magazines. Reading helps you to, whether you know it or not, you're visualizing, because what you read, you picture in your mind. So the number 5 thing that you need to do to increase your spiritual gifts and abilities is reading. 4, get out in nature. Pay attention to the bees buzzing. Pay attention to how the wind blows the trees. This is how you tap into what we call the grand scheme of things. 3 is writing, because writing gives you the ability to take very abstract things and actualize them, materialize them, manifest them into reality. 2, the number 2 thing that you can do to develop your spiritual gifts and abilities is become more responsible. Yes, because the more that you know that you can trust you, the easier it'll be to listen when your intuition is speaking to you. And the number 1 thing that you can do to develop your spiritual gifts and abilities is learning to sit in silence and paying attention to your breathing, aka meditating. The reason being is because it heightens your awareness. You learn to pay attention to what comes from within you and what's going on outside of you. And it's easier to differentiate the two. Let me know how this helped you. Wholeness, infinite water flowing through.
One of the keys to unlocking the power of the mind is silence. Being able to quiet the mind and go deeper into the psyche and the subconscious. This is one of the goals of meditation, because essentially if you're able to control your mind, you can control your life. And it's easier said than done, because most people have a never-ending conversation occurring in their mind. And that inner monologue is your conscious mind. This is the first layer of thinking that keeps you stuck in the matrix. Now, beneath that layer of thought is the subconscious. And this is what we call the dark side in the occult. So you have these deeply embedded thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that are hidden or suppressed. And this is the part of you that really runs your life. So through deep meditation and other techniques, you can tap into this inner dimension and manifest healing, knowledge of past lives, power, wealth, and you can literally change your reality. The problem is most people can't sit alone with themselves and detach from the outside world. They have to constantly be stimulated by something. And see, meditation itself is a practice. It takes time to get past that first layer of thought and enter an elevated trance-like state. Subconscious mind is one of the most powerful forces on the planet. When you learn how to tap into and access and unlock the power of your subconscious mind, you gain the ability to manifest anything effortlessly. right? Because the reason that a lot of people can't manifest is because they have limiting beliefs deeply embedded within their subconscious. And the only way to reverse this programming is to bypass the conscious mind. Your conscious mind is basically the thoughts that you hear in your head. You have to be able to bypass that to get to the deeper layer within your mind. And this is why meditation is so important. And this is why doing spirit work and shadow work is so important.
If you want to activate your spiritual powers and reconnect to your ancestors, the three most powerful religions today, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, all started in the Kemetic spiritual principles and sciences. And so did every foundational belief of all the indigenous powerful tribes of the planet. But in order for you to fulfill your destiny, you have to connect to your true story. What if I told you that your ancient spiritual knowledge, your language, and your true story was always hidden in plain sight? The scriptures in this book were stolen and colonized by King James and the Council of Nicaea, but it still holds all the keys to unlocking the universe for the indigenous people on the earth. This book is just a little bit of proof of where the information came from. Notice that this is a New Testament Bible with the all-seeing eye, as well as the shape of the pyramids on it. Along with that colonization process, they transformed this guy to that guy. I bet you didn't know that the first church to ever exist was in 42 AD, the first century, and guess where it was located? In Alexandria, Kemet, aka Egypt, named by European. Isa, Yeshua, Jesus, was already in the Kemetic scriptures. And whether you see him as an allegory or a historical figure, the truth is he belongs to the indigenous people. And so many people are being tricked, separating themselves from Yeshua, not knowing that he is the key to unlocking the divine universe and reconnecting you to who you are. And they want to keep that secret from you. For example, they turned our ancestors to their ancestors and called them saints. So you don't have to give up your Christianity to connect to your Kemetic true story. You just have to decode what's been coded and colonized to understand who you are, where you're from, and what your ancestors was doing during the days of the dynasty. The indigenous Jews of the Bible were also national Kemetic people, or Cometians. The same way Democrats and Republicans are still national Americans, the same way a Christian and a Muslim can still be Americans, the indigenous Jews and the Cometians were all the same nationality. They just were called Egyptians by the Europeans when they colonized the Bible.